What up? What up? As you get in here, man, please hit the like button, hit the share button. Tonight we are talking about a number of different things going on pretty much the national scene. There's a lot of big things going on. There's some local things going on too that I want to talk about, but right now we're gonna uh, dive into this pretty much the national scene. We're gonna dive into this a couple things, but one being this story with Fani Willis. Now, I know you've heard her name pronounced as Fannie Willis, and that's not the lady's name. The lady's name is Fani, Fani, and it's a Swahili name. I forgot what it meant, but her name is Fani, not Fanny. And I mean, it's convenient to say Fanny because she's gotten her fanny in a bunch of crap. And so, what I want to do now is take some time for those who really aren't following, but you hear it and you kind of want to know, trying to figure out, well, what's the big deal? What's going on with this whole Fani Willis, Fani, don't call me Fanny Willis case. And it is all right, let's get this together here. Bing. Yeah, so a little while ago, this thing came across the news about the prosecutor down there in the DA down in Atlanta, Georgia, by the name of Fani Willis. Um, Now, when I first heard of Fani Willis, um, let me give you let me give you a little backstory on Fani and who she is and why she's become the topic of conversation here in the last week or so. Like, I mean, she's dominating. Her name is dominating the headlines, and we'll get around to that as to what it is. But Fani Willis is the DA. She's 53 years old. She's a district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia. Now, Fulton County covers a large part of Atlanta, Georgia. Um, Fani is originally from Inglewood, California. She's affiliated with the Democratic Party. She has two children. She was educated. She got her degree at Howard University in 1993, where she graduated cum laude. Very smart young lady. And she got a law degree at Emory University School of Law down in Atlanta, Georgia. Um, Again, like I said, she was born in Inglewood. At some point, her family moved to DC. Her father was a lawyer. He also was functional in he was also instrumental in starting a faction of the Black Panther Party out there in Inglewood, California, but became disenchanted with the infighting and all that good stuff, and kind of moved away from that. At which time, again, like I said, he moved to DC, and her mom and dad eventually divorced, and she spent most of her time with her with her dad. And there's Fani on the screen right there. Could have got a better picture of Fani, but there she is right there. Her and Nathan Wade, and we'll get to Mr. Wade shortly. Um, Fani, let's see, she and she got to her position. She took that position in 2020, where she took down in the election, meaning she took down six-time incumbent Paul Howard, who, if you know anything about Atlanta, Paul Howard was the man in Atlanta for a long time. And in 2020, Fani Willis took his seat. Before that, in 2019, she was a municipal judge for South Fulton, Georgia. She In 2018, she was in private practice where she ran for Fulton County Superior Court seat and lost that. A little bit more history on Fani. Again, she has a political science degree from the esteemed Howard University in DC. Now, what again, how I came to know about Fani Willis, one of the biggest cases that she worked on was this case that you see on screen, which is the Atlanta public schools cheating scandal. And this took place, it was exposed that there was a lot of cheating going on in Atlanta public schools. And a trial was brought in 2014 and 15, and that trial garnered national attention. You know, there was principals, teachers, and a lot of folks who cheated on state administered standardized testing throughout the Atlanta area. And Ms. Willis was the prosecutor. Ms. Willis is known for bringing RICO cases and winning them. This was a RICO case, and some people actually ended up going to jail behind this. Most recently, she just brought a RICO case against rapper Young Thug and YSL, in which they're in court right now. Also, she brought a RICO charge against this man right here who just pleaded in his RICO. That's YFN Lucci, for those of you who don't know, is a rapper. So she was doing a lot to crack down on gang violence in greater Atlanta area, because it was out of control. It is out of control. And Fani was taking a lot of people down. Okay, and here's Paul Howard. This is the man who she replaced as district attorney of Fulton County, Georgia. She again, she's known as the RICO lawyer, and she's been bringing RICO cases and winning them. Well, where Fani got in trouble at, Fani also just brought a RICO case against former President Donald Trump regarding election fraud, where Trump apparently made some phone calls down to the folks down in Georgia and was trying to get some things changed around, and I guess he was moving in an illegal manner, and so that charge was brought up against him there by Fani Willis, and this is how we got to where we are right now with her. So at some point, Fani was accused of, now I remember in the YSL trial, they said that she had some possible dealings with one of the members of the YSL gang. Now that never proved to be true. That was just, rumors. But fast forward to this, one of the people, and she brought the charges not only against Donald Trump but against 19 other people in that voter voter cheating scandal that he's charged with down there in Georgia. But one of the attorneys in that case brought this situation that she's dealing with now up to the court. And the situation that she's dealing with now, she's accused of having an inappropriate relationship with, again, this man on the screen right now, who is, Nathan Wade, right? Nathan Wade is an attorney out of Atlanta, Georgia, and he is a special prosecutor. He was named one of the special prosecutors, one of three special prosecutors on this RICO case involving former President Donald Trump. Now, Wade, at the same time this is going on, Wade is going through a divorce from this woman right here, who is Jocelyn Wade. That's his Nathan Wade's wife. They're not divorced yet. They separated they got married in 1997, separated in 2019. And it was shortly after that, after he filed for divorce, when he was named by Fani Willis as the special prosecutor in this case against the president. Now, there's a lot of questions around his qualifications to prosecute a case of this magnitude. Um, in the research that I've done, if you add it all up, um, Nathan Wade is a little more than a Judge Joe Brown. Okay, he's never tried cases of this magnitude. So that was one of the red flags that flew up when she hired Wade. Now, the problem is that she was accused of being in a relationship with Nathan Wade, right? As the prosecutor, she hired him, and then she is accused of being in a relationship with him, and that's a no-no. Okay, you can't sleep with the help, and so that's what the prosecutor, one of the defendants in the Trump case, alleged. And so she was recently subpoenaed to speak at the divorce hearing between these two right here, between Jocelyn and Nathan. And a bunch of stuff happened. The judge put a stay on that. Basically, the judge said he wanted to hear from Nathan first, and then he wants to hear from the prosecutor, Fani Willis. Now, Fani was saying things like, hey, her work is too important. She shouldn't have to testify in this case. And when it first came out, now I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. You know what I mean? I thought it was the natural thing for Trump's team to do, try to find some dirt on the prosecutor and get the case thrown out any way they could. But at when it first came, I'm like, man, this can't be. She can't be moving like that. You know what I mean? I don't think these two people are that thing. And so one of the things that made me say, we might have a problem here, is when accused with this, when this thing first like really hit the news. I mean, hit the news big. Fani decided to go to Big Bethel AME Church in Atlanta and gave a speech. And the speech was supposed to be a letter that she had written to God. And she got up there and said a bunch of stuff, man, that really did not help her case at all. I mean, it raised more questions, and it raised more questions than anything. And so, here we are. I know you see on the screen right there. She is at the church. Let's listen to a little bit of this. I'm gonna ask y'all to give me a minute. Now, them little smirks and smiles and laughs. Now, this is a part of another conversation that I want to have about the black church and folks that do what she is doing now. Came into church with her mess and laid it at the altar, so to speak, but never addressed the real issues. I have some notes here, and at some points I'll go to them, and at some points I'm just going to stray from them. But I hope y'all will be patient with me. The bishop told me I am welcome to be myself. In this very historic house of God. How many of y'all know that's what Bethel means? House of God. And being that that's the house of God, is just again, and I'm not going to play this whole thing. So if you haven't heard it, in its entirety, go find it on the internet. You can find it. Just put Fani Willis, uh, Big Bethel AME Church, and you'll find this whole thing where she's responding to the accusations, and this happened, some days ago.
There is literally no place in the world I'd rather be than right here with you today. God always brings you to that safe place where you need to be.
This is the prosecutor. This is the DA. This is the prosecutor of Fulton County. This lady puts people in prison every day, and here she is fleeing to the church, saying that she is in a place of safety, which is true, but
And so the invitation to come where God's message is taught, adhered to, and celebrated is my honor. I want to acknowledge and
now keep in mind she's accused of having an inappropriate relationship with this married man who works for her. The black man pictured in the right here in the picture, uh, Nathan. Okay, so keep that in mind as she stands up at this church and talks to God.
humbly thank, first of all, my Savior, Lord Jesus Christ, but also his humble servants, Bishop Jackson, Supervisor Christy Davis Jackson, Esquire, Presiding Elder Hudson, Reverend Dr. John Foster, Sister Mary Ann Foster.
All right, I'm gonna skip forward, and she's just going through formalities, and we'll just pop in a couple things. But I'm not gonna be on this much longer. But check it out.
It'll be just a work in progress. I thought by 2024, as a 52-year-old woman, that certainly
I said she was 53. I'm sorry, Fani. She's 52.
us humans would have gotten it together, that the cultural shift would have already taken place. I thought by now, well, we would all just be getting along. Boy, was I wrong. Now, right now, as much as any time in history, we need a cultural shift. As Americans have normalized, some of y'all say that with me, Americans have normalized. They've normalized cruelty.
All right, and apparently they've normalized adultery too. Let's move forward a little bit. Again, she gets up here and she accuses these people of being racist, everybody being racist against her, and all this other stuff. But we're gonna dig a little farther into it. And again, I would encourage you to go watch this whole speech.
Jesus is the only source I can only rely on. His arms. I worked so hard for it so long, but I still humbly realize only 1% of the district attorneys in this country are women of color. Why should I, your lowly servant, get this honor? But then his job began.
Okay, now keep in mind this is a job she asked for. She put her name on the ballot. She's been bucking for this position for quite some time. As I went through her history, you can see, she's a bright lady. She's not a dummy. Okay, so she knows what she was getting into, um, and you can see in a number of different you can see in a number of different interview she did, she understood fully what she was doing. And now this whole thing she's saying now about women of color being 1%, and these are maybe factual numbers, but it has nothing to do with what she's being accused of. Nothing.
Do as I say, child.
Yeah. And I'm gonna get off of this here real fast. But so that's where we are, right? And here is after she went into church, the news media tore her apart. Okay. I mean, they ripped her up. And they should have, because that whole speech was just, now it's racism now. Okay. 29 years you've been doing this, and now all of a sudden it's racism. No, you were going after a powerful person, and they fighting back, with whatever they can find on you, they're fighting back. And what they found, right, was everything they needed to find. And when Miss Jocelyn when Miss Jocelyn Wade released some of the court filings. Now, what you get ready to look at right now, because again, she's accused of carrying on an inappropriate relationship with Wade. They supposedly went on trips to the Caribbean, to Napa Valley out in California, down to Florida, to Aruba. They was just, you know, flying around. And also the pay, and in that whole church thing, she said that, she went through this whole thing, that she hired these three attorneys, she hired them all at the same hourly wage. And that was just a flat out lie, because the records show that she paid her boyfriend. And I'm gonna say that because the records show, she paid her boyfriend an enormous amount of money, as opposed to what she paid the other prosecutors. Okay. And here are the credit card receipts from Mr. Wade, where he purchased airline tickets for himself and Fani Willis. And in one incident, he purchased tickets for himself, Fani, and Fani's mom. And her name's listed here in these records. Also, there was some question about him billing his billing. Um, he billed he billed the folks at Fulton County at one point for 24 hours work. So you mean to tell me you worked 24 hours straight? But here on the screen, and if I'll put them up on my page here in a little bit. Here are the credit card receipts from one Nathan Wade. And in these things, you see where he bought rooms for himself and Miss Fani. Uh, Again, plane tickets. And so the question is she paying him this much because he's qualified, or is she paying him this much because she's receiving benefits from that? And she paid one attorney $73,000. She paid another attorney's office. These are the three prosecutors that she got on this case. The other one she paid $90,000, and Mr. Wade's law firm was paid almost $700,000. And there's also some questions as to whether or not she had the permission to hire this man. Again, he was hired the day after he filed for divorce from this woman, Jocelyn Wade. And so what is this all about? What's the big deal? Okay, she's sleeping with the prosecutor. Well, DAs, district attorneys, are held to higher standards, um, morally and legally. And it the one thing, this will not get Trump off of the charges that he's on, because they could pass it off to another prosecutor. So that's not what's going to happen. Now, this does taint that whole trial, that whole case. Okay, because again, her judgment is being called into question now. Um, and again, here are the credit card receipts from one Nathan Wade, detailing everything that was accused as far as the trips and all this other stuff. And so, one of the issues that Wade's wife has is that she's not getting any money, and she didn't. She wants to know about this $600,000-700,000 that he got, and why she hasn't received any of it yet. They use the word his paramour. That's a fancy word for mistress, I guess. Um, is reaping the benefits of it. You know what I mean? This lady is saying that, hey, she raised this man's kids for all these years, and now all of a sudden he marries. I mean, he's hanging out with his boss, who he's happens to be sleeping with, flying all across the country. And I mean, you would think they would wait. They would be like, hey, listen, we'll do all this once this trial's over. We're dealing with one of the biggest trials in the United States. The eyes are going to be on us. We probably need to use some caution. Nah, they didn't. They did not. They were frolicking all across the globe trotters, doing their thing. And I ran across this right here, guys. This was from yesterday. Yep, January 24th in Fulton County. Now, there's another story brewing in Fulton County, and the lady is sitting there one of the commissioners. She's sitting there on the board. The only black lady sitting there. She was just found guilty of sexual harassment or sexual. Anyway, it was a guy that worked there that refused to sleep with her, and ended up bringing charges against her and won on yesterday. But she's sitting up there now, and I want to play you guys some comments from the county council meeting yesterday in Fulton County. Let's get over here to this here. And the lady that's commenting is pay attention to her props. Okay, that's coming up there now. Pay attention to her props. I know she's gonna look really crazy when what she's doing, but pay attention to her props, the name and everything. It's wild. Check it out.
My name is Fat Ass Sass and Crass, no class, Fulton County. I'm incognito today, y'all, because the white folks is after me. I got a little bit of a PR problem. Natalie, you might be able to help me with. I could use the name of your PR firm. You know, the one that got you on the top 100 list? That's the kind of PR I'm looking for.
And the Natalie person she just referred to is the lady who I'm telling you about that just got the charge. I'm going to do a story on her too.
You know, I know you'll understand that nothing and nobody comes between me and my Nathan's hot dog. Yeah, come on up in here now, my dark and lovely lunch. Oh, yeah, there you come on. Yes, my
Nathan's hot dog. Classic.
PR firm, all they tell me to do is take me to church. Yeah. Take me to church, I worship you, dog. You're the light of my life. Please forgive me my sins, but I would fall on a knife. You are my destiny, baby. Good God, just get rid of your wife. Take me to church, I go to work. I get my freak on. Take me to church. I write a check. They let me say a few words. Take me to church. I eat some crow and humble pie. Take me to church. I write a contract. We're set for life.
She is tripping. She said she wrote a check. They write a check. They asked, she was talking about the church. That's what she's suggesting, is that's how she was able to speak in that church, by writing a check. Good point.
Take me to church. First Baptist, here I come. Take me to church. Do we got to see the Catholics too? Are they on the schedule? Do I got to do everything? Take me to church.
15 seconds.
15 seconds.
Taxpayer
She's got a Nathan's hot dog. That is classic.
funded unlimited expense account. Wee, you baby, that's what I like. Take me to church. Even a light-skinned elitist like me knows the darker the better.
Wow.
Take me to church.
Last 6 speakers in Assembly Hall, please come forward. Sarah Turing, Clinton DeVoe, Derek Blassingame,
She wants to laugh. Man.
Lisa Adler, Drew Limburger, and Quincy Shoulders.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Julie Allen. It's time to take the business of Fulton County seriously and approve the Fulton County report.
All right, let's get away from that. I wanted you guys to see that. There's a couple more people that came up and spoke their piece in regards to the Fulton County DA and her inappropriate behavior. And so, yeah, that's something that I'll continue to watch again. But I just wanted to give a little backstory as to who the players are and what the issue is. And so, another story that happened in Georgia, not in Fulton County, of course, but in Georgia nonetheless, was there was some guys arrested today or yesterday, and ended up the cops ended up pulling these guys out of the sewer. And you see the pictures on the screen right here. Right? Here they are pulling this guy out of the sewer. There's a shot of the deputy guy in the backdrop there. There's the other suspect. All right. So in this story, let me get to this story here. This is a wild story here, a little wild story. All right, let's see what we can do here. I need some power. All right, so this happened in Bibb County, Georgia, Bibb County, Georgia, and I'm crediting Gray News for the story. Deputies in Georgia made a stinky arrest after they located 2 alleged burglars in a sewer after the 2 suspects broke into a warehouse on Tuesday. So this happened yesterday. Well, it happened 2 days ago. Bibb County Sheriff responded to a call to a break-in at California Cereal Products on Meade Road on Tuesday after just 9 a.m. When deputies arrived at the location, 2 suspects had reportedly fled the scene into a nearby wooded area. The sheriff's office said a patrol sergeant chased the suspects and followed the footprints leading to one of the suspects, who was taken into custody without incident. So one guy was just like, "You got me, take me in." Officials then found the second suspect hiding inside a sewer. They pulled him out of the sewer through a manhole, as can be seen in the photos. The sheriff's office, that's a photo that the sheriff's office released. Sorry. The two suspects were identified as 37-year-old Joseph Seth Sheriff. Wow, what a last name picked up by the sheriff's deputy. His last name is Sheriff. And 56-year-old John Frank Larson. Sheriff was taken to the Bibb County Sheriff's Office for further investigation, while Larson was taken to the hospital and treated for a complaint. Sheriff was charged with burglary, possession of tools for commission of a crime, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and probation violation. So he won't be coming home no time soon. Larson was charged with second-degree burglary and possession of tools for commission of a crime. Both suspects were denied bond, which they probably should have been denied bond. That was a little stinky situation there, though. That's a rough way to, I mean, he's in that sewer like he would have he better be glad he got caught. He would have probably ended up sick. Hepatitis or something. But yeah. Craziness, man. Craziness. Anyway, I appreciate that person over there on X for checking me out, man. Hit that like button over there on X if you don't mind, sir or ma'am. I just wanted to do that story because, again, it's dominating the news, and it's relevant to what's coming up here with the 2024 election, presidential election. So we'll keep our eyes on that and see how that story develops in the state of Georgia with that case against Donald Trump. Anyway, that's all I have.